Carl, Brendan and Dan here from Games, Brains and Headbanging Life, gbhblofficial.com for short. And it is Bloodstock reaction time as we go to the main stage for one of the bigger bands of the weekend, but still not that big of a band in the grand scheme of things. It is, of course, Venom Prison, playing Friday of the festival on the main stage, Ronnie James Dio stage. Venom Prison should need no introduction. Obviously, the death metal, extreme metal band from this isle. I love Venom Prison. Big fan of them. And I'm pretty sure you both are too.
Yeah.
I know of them. I haven't listened to loads of them.
I've become more and more of a fan as time goes by. I think when they were first kind of hitting the scene, I liked them, but I didn't love them. But it's kind of growing, you know, with each kind of passing release. So, yeah. That's
fair. Well, this track in particular comes from the re-recordings of their debut EPs. It's one of the two brand new tracks that came from that re-recording, Prime Evil. And this was a really great track to hear when I first heard it for that review. I've seen Venom Prison play Bloodstock before. In fact, you have as well, when they last played Bloodstock. Yeah. And at the time, it felt like they were a bit of a fish out of water on that stage because it was the main stage as well. So I really hope, really excited to sort of see the growth, as it were, come this year.
Yeah, agree.
Cool. All right, let's do this in 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, the word blistering comes to mind. Who wants to take this one first?
Well, for once.
Mm.
So I've always had a bit of an on and off thing with Venom Prison. Sometimes they really impress me and sometimes they don't. I want to say about 2 minutes into it, I started to get really bored. And then a bit of the melody comes in with the guitars, with like her brilliant vocal. She's a very talented vocalist, with the breakdown. And I started to really love it then. But it's the first 2 minutes that are really doing it for me because it's just a lot of the same, I think. It's very brutal and they're all talented musicians. I just think it's very samey until it gets to that point. I was like, yeah, I'm enjoying it.
And then you enjoyed it all the way through to the end.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I just a massive fan of Venom Prison's blistering delivery, vocally, both guitars as well. The drums are incredible in that track. I mean, you gotta listen for them, but there's some incredible kick work going on. It's just constantly blistering speed. But what I particularly like about this track is this was one of the first times where they've kind of shown that they've got that bit more melody to them and they have some more ideas than just constant blistering, heavy death metal. It's all about intensity with Venom Prison. And this has it, but it isn't consistent like all the way through. And I think that actually is a good thing where it's a bit like, okay, here's a moment where you might be able to just go, oh, cool, I can sit back and listen to that melody rather than just the constant blistering in your face speed and heaviness of them. It's what I love about them, that blistering fucking in your face, get up and screaming in it. And the part at the end where it's like a brief guitar solo followed by her going, that shit is wonderful.
What was she doing?
I mean, it's not a great impression of it, but
I can't, I understand where Dan's coming from a little bit because when I said Venom Prison have grown on me over time, and a lot of earlier day Venom Prison was just the first 2 minutes. That's what you were going to get. It was a consistent kind of blast with maybe not quite as good a production as this has, because this sounds very nicely put together. I think it's quite crystal clear. I think the drums sound out really well. I like it a lot. For me, the best part of the song, or the thing that makes the song, is the more melodic chorus. It's not the best part of the song as such, but if it wasn't in there, it would be a worse song without it, much worse without it. Vocally, yeah, she's brilliant. We know they're talented. Guitar solo thing I thought was great. The little guitar solo. There are a couple of other little melodic bits like that came through in the guitars. The drums must be really hard to play the drums like that when they spend just as much time trying to stop the cymbals as they do hitting them. I see that all the time, trying to grab the cymbals to stop them. But, I think it's really cool to see that they've grown as a band phenomenally over the last few years, I think, and I really like the way they are at right now. So yeah, I think it's a very, very good song. I very much enjoyed it. I like the heavy stuff of it, but I like it more because I know I'm going to get a melodic payoff.
Yep.
Yeah,
I mean, that's completely fair. And I think it's predominantly positive, the fact that there's a wide array of tasters, and it's always been a bit of, in regards to sort of Dan and Brendan, a bit more love-hate relationship with Venom Prison than necessarily me. But I mean, I let you guys in a secret. It's a long time into the future, because until we need a lineup complete before we do this, we eventually get around to doing our videos and articles about 10 bands you want to see at Bloodstock and all that. Venom Prison have and will still be in my top 10 bands to see. I want to see how they progressed. I want to sort of see them hit that main stage and own it this time round, rather than feeling like they're lost there. I want to be able to go, fuck, shit, look at this band go, that kind of thing. It's kind of why it's a big deal for me. So, I mean, it's going to take a lot clash-wise. That's going to have to be one of my all-time favorite bands playing elsewhere for me to miss Venom Prison on the main stage, personally. Don't know if you guys care that much about seeing them.
I definitely want to see them. I don't know if they'd have been in my top 10 originally, but as the lineup keeps changing, they get shunted closer and closer to it. When you say like a love-hate relationship with Venom Prison, for me, it's probably just a love-like. I never ever had anything negative about them. I just went from liking them to liking them a lot, I guess.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that continues to grow, and I'm hoping they continue to evolve with their sound, and continue to be kind of brave, because actually I think melody sort of sits quite well in the extreme side of things. And if you want the best example of it, and actually you get flashes of that in that song, is what Cattle Decapitation do, where they are an extreme band, but they will drop into a melodic section, and it works brilliantly. And I think that's what Venom Prison feels like they're evolving too. I'm a very big fan of them, and I'd be intending to see them again. You know, obviously Clash dependent, but I would imagine, yeah, there aren't going to be as many clashes, you know, for me this year as there maybe would have been if it had been the original lineup.
Yeah, we should add that Brendan, out of all of us, probably has suffered the most losses with the ever-changing lineup. I think you know, compared to what you wanted to see. Yeah,
me and my damn American taste.
What about you, Dan? A Venom Prison in your top 10 to see at the fest?
I don't know about my top 10, but I definitely am interested in seeing them. Just because like Brendan said, it's not a love-hate relationship. It's kind of like a like-dislike. Because I think to hate a band, you've got to really just not like their stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we're using the word liberally. Yeah. We're using the word hate liberally more than anything else. You know, it would take quite a bit, as you say. But hey, you let us know what you think of it in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. You can check us out on gbhbl.com as well as on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and Tumblr. Go to Patreon to help us out over there. That's patreon.com/gbhbl, as well as Big Cartel, where you can find some of our merchandise. We have a podcast running on SoundCloud and Apple Podcasts. And of course, if you like this video, do us a favour, hit the subscribe button and help the channel grow. Games, horror and heavy metal. What else is life for?